In this video, I will break down a complete guide to a career working in software sales and expected earnings at each level. A question I get all the time is, hey Trent, I want to work in technology, but I don't know if I necessarily want to do sales. What other options do I have? Stick around until the end of the video and I'm gonna share the best alternatives to not doing sales, but still working in tech. On this channel, I'm committed to sharing the most authentic version of myself with my successes, failures, and experience in seeking out massive success in my own life and career. A part of that is personal and professional. Oftentimes I'm sharing my experience through the lens of my 3 years working in software sales and 3xing my income from $50,000 to over $130,000 over the past 3 years. In my personal life, I'm a guy, I'm naturally attracted to women, and if you've been following my channel for a while, I made a video 2 weeks ago talking about getting no-showed on a Hinge date and commuting into the office for the first time in a year. Over 400 people viewed that video. I got so much positive support. I set up a Hinge date and got no-showed. It was disappointing, but we can see a lot of parallels to that in working in sales. A week later, I went back to that same coffee shop. An attractive girl approached me out of the blue, which never happens. We conversed, she gave me her number. We ended up meeting up 2 days later. I went to her church, a little out of my comfort zone. I wait 4 days, shoot her a text, and I get no response. I'm in a state of uncertainty, so I posted on the community tab. Over 70 of you voted, should I follow up with her or should I let her go? So many of you left such meaningful comments that I read through and really appreciated, and the majority of you said to let her go. So we're letting her go. I value your input and I'm more committed than ever to bringing more value to you here today in this video and going forward. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because we're making videos each and every day for the foreseeable future. We just came off a 170-day streak, and at this point you're thinking, Trent, get into the video. I want to hear the meat of the content. When you start in software sales, the most logical starting place, and you guys hear me say this all the time, but we need to talk about it, is sales development representative or business development representative, SDR, BDR. I started my career as an SDR. I had no experience, no connections in technology, no internships, but through applying to a lot of different jobs, through talking to a lot of different people, I was able to get my big break in tech and work at a company pre-IPO that's now public. Incredibly exciting. The company has grown rapidly. As an SDR, I started out making $40,000 to $50,000 a year. We talk a lot about should you work at a big established tech company or a small startup. The smaller the company, the less resources you're gonna have, the quicker career path from SDR to AE, the less earnings you can expect. The bigger the company, the more structure, the less uncertainty, the more money you're gonna make. You're gonna make between $40,000 and $80,000 as an SDR. Your time as an SDR can last anywhere from 3 to 6 months to all the way up until 3 years. Speaking to my personal experience, I started as an SDR. You get paid based on OTE in software sales, on target earnings, a mix of your fixed base pay, which is your salary, and your variable commission pay, which is pay for performance. Year one as an SDR, my on-target earnings was $50,000, $40,000 base, $10,000 variable. Within 9 months, I promoted to an SDR2 with a $50,000 base, $15,000 variable earnings. So $65,000 OTE. Once I promoted, my base pay, salary, sorry, I'm having a tough time tonight, $60,000 salary, and then $20,000 OT, so around $80,000 OT total, $20,000 commission. So pretty much going from 40 to 80,000. Whenever you're ready to promote, you'll become an account executive. You'll go from an SDR who's focused on cold calling, sending emails, generating pipelines, setting up meetings, to then becoming an account executive, someone who closes revenue, works deals from start to finish. This role is really important, and you'll spend a lot of your career in this role because there's so many things to master. There's so many learnings I'm experiencing in my current role in regards to how do I sell and build value effectively. There's a lot of different styles, and in SaaS sales, software as a service, you are selling a complicated software that can have a sales cycle of anywhere from a couple days to a couple weeks to a couple months to even a year or two. It's very complex, it's very costly, and it's very hard to do. That is why you need to have premium skills in building value in doing MEDDIC. That's the sales philosophy we follow at Qualtrics. MEDDIC is essentially metric, economic buyer, decision process, decision criteria, compelling event, and there's a lot of different factors that go into that as well, but ultimately you need to be able to ask the right questions to understand how to win the deal. You will begin to get paid handsomely for acquiring these skills. Currently, as a mid-level account executive, my on-target earnings is $131,000. The breakdown is like $68,000 base and then 40 or 50 something $1,000 variable. I know that doesn't add up. There's something else in there that gets it to 130. Once I promote, my on-target earning will be 159,000. Once I promote to the senior account executive, my on-target earning is about 185,000. And then from that point, whenever you're ready to move up to the big leagues, you become an enterprise software seller. And before I get into that, if you're enjoying the video to this point, make sure to smash the like button below because it really helps the channel. Enterprise software sales is a big deal. Essentially, you're moving from a mid-market space. So for example, in my organization, account executives work accounts that are less than $2 billion in revenue. Whenever you move up to an enterprise level, you're working with the big accounts. You're working with the Amazons, the Google, the Microsofts, selling big, important deals. There's perhaps dozens of stakeholders that you need to build value around, and the sales cycles are complex and last months, if not years. The on-target earnings reflects the complexity, and the on-target earnings, based on my experience, is anywhere from 200,000 to 400,000, depending on your level, depending on the quality of your organization. That's where I see on average, and I see some people making way more money. So if you're in it for the money, be an individual lifelong contributor and go for it. When we think about lucrative, why SaaS sales is the most lucrative job in technology, I just laid out why. From a monetary standpoint, it's pretty undeniable. When we think about why else it's lucrative, lifestyle. You don't need to completely sell your soul and or work 1,000,000 hours a week. You set your own hours, you have autonomy, you're your own boss, and as you move up, you have less accounts, so you become more strategic. You have more leverage due to more resources, and you're thinking more so than you're making cold calls and working really hard. And you are accountable for a quarterly quota. So if you hit your quota in the first 3 months of the year, on that, you're good annually. Maybe you could just take a break. Most likely you will not do that, but you have a lot more freedom and flexibility. Your skills are always in demand. So if for some reason it's not working out at your current company, you could go to another company, no problem. And then lastly, from a remote work standpoint, everyone wants to work remote. A lot of you reach out to me and say, hey, I'm not in the US. How do I get a remote job? This is the perfect job for you. This is my office. I work from home. It's very easy to get going and just do my thing in a remote setting. At this point, you're wondering, Trent, what are the other jobs other than sales? I've been waiting around to this point. I've been skipping around the video. I'm glad you asked. When we think about the value of an organization, there's two functions that are most valuable and paid the highest. Sales, go-to-market, and the builders, the engineers who create the product. The people who create the product and the people who sell the product are the most important function of the organization. Of course, leadership, I'm excluding that because that's a whole different path, a whole different other conversation. But I would say if you're not into sales and you're very technical, become an engineer, become a coder. The leverage you can have from programming a computer and telling it what you want to do, it's what you need to be able to do. It's clearly where the future's going. I don't know how to code, nor will I try, because no matter how much time or effort I put into it, I don't think that I'll become good enough to where it will make a difference. I think it's important to be a generalist and have a good understanding. So maybe I'm selling myself short. But if you're technical, I would start learning how to code as early as possible. Other jobs that you can do. So whether you want to start as an SDR and then pivot or try and get in technology in a different function, here are the other roles. I've seen a lot of people start as an SDR and they ask themselves the question, is sales for me? And they decide, no, it's not. They want to do something else. They don't like the pressure. They don't like burdening people with their ask. And typically those folks like to go to marketing. Marketing is a great function. It's important to organizations, not quite as important to sales, but the work they do is valuable. I recognize it. And you can go into marketing and have a great career, have a lot of fun. The other paths that are super interesting, in my opinion, is a solution engineer. So think of them as tech sales. So when I'm working a big important deal, I'll do the initial call, I'll build the value, I'll do the discovery, and then when it's ready to do a demo, I'll bring in a member of my tech sales team to give a specialized demo. These individuals' entire job is to give custom, specific, personalized, high-touch demos, so you're adding value throughout that sales process. think of it as an important input along that value chain. You're not going to get paid quite as well as a salesperson. It's not quite as important, but you are adding an essential imperative function to creating value. Along with the solution engineer, there's a lot of other consultation roles, such as being a person who actually implements the software. That could be really interesting. A project manager. There's a lot of different roles that you could go into, but at this point in the video, 10 minutes in, I'm not sure if I have any other great ideas other than thank you so much for watching. At this point in my dating life, I'm not really sure where to turn. I'm giving up on the girl. I'm not following up again. If she's watching this, maybe you should text me back. Who knows? It's okay. Don't feel bad. Anyways, thanks so much for watching the video. I will see you next time. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.